Alright, so to begin the schedule, we're first going to have to download it to your computer. So you want to log into the news system. Go to the USA library. Log in. Go to the Operations tab. Then located right here at the top left, it says Blank Schedule, New Item. Select that. And you want to save it to your computer. Select a location. I like to use the desktop so it's easy to find. Alright, so once you've opened up or downloaded the program, we'll open it up, and it'll open up to this tab here that is basically going to tell you the purpose of the program and some helpful little tidbits about the program. Where we start doing the program, we go to the bottom to the tabs. Tab number 1 is weekly dates. Once you get on this thing, you're going to select United States rink blank schedule. Select that box, go up here, change it to your rink number, and then the next box we'll go to is this red highlighted date. Select the Monday's date of the schedule you're working on. So and once you do that, it'll change all the dates along here. At this point, we want to go up here to the Windows icon there, hit Save As, and check a location to save it. I'm just going to save it to the desktop. And we go. I used 2/13 for the Monday date, so we're going to go 2.13.12 schedule rink 3 and hit save. Now next week when you do this, you'll do the same thing, only you'll change the date. And I save all my schedules. I have every schedule I've ever done. That way, if there's a problem, corporate needs to know something, you have it. So now we've got this file saved. You can see up here at the top it now says 2/13.12 schedule rank 3. We're going to scroll down this page. The blue numbers here are automatically populated. There's nothing you need to do in this box. You'll come down to this first yellow box. It says enter monthly cost per customer goal. We're going to enter $1.23. Then over here, again, this one right here you don't change, but we'll go over here to where it says average yield, and we're going to enter our average yield per customer. You see this number automatically changed as soon as we did the yield. This number populates based on your yield and by your expected customer counts you enter. At this point, we're going to go to tab number 2, which is the Manager tab. Alright, so we're on the Management tab, and this is basically a roster. You're going to enter your roster. Yeah, right here it says hourly session management staff roster. Well, you also enter your salaried managers here. These 2 yellow shaded boxes are for salaried managers. You're going to enter their last name, first name, and for the salary you will not enter a rate of pay. When you get down here to the white boxes, you're going to enter your part-time managers, same way as the salaried managers. And then you're going to enter a rate of pay for them right here. Repeat this step for all your session managers. The next session is your maintenance staff. Just the same way as the managers. Enter that. And if you notice, I'm never changing this employee reference number. This number is strictly for this program to work. And nowhere in the program should you change the employee reference number. But you continue this step for all your maintenance staff. And then we come down to the sales. Again, salaried sales goes in the yellow box. No hourly rate. If you have assistant salespeople, birthday managers, anybody that's working in the office doing stuff. We'll enter them here along with their rate of pay. Next section's clerical. If you have part-timers that answer the phone, etc., that are working non-session hours, you'll enter them here. Next section's for contract DJs. And most of our contract DJs are paid a flat fee per session. And you can enter this two ways. You can figure their average hourly rate of pay and enter that, or you can put their flat fee. I personally like to use their average hourly rate of pay, so I'll put in 25. And that is all for this tab. So now we're going to go down to tab number 3, which is our employee list. Alright, so now we're on the employee list. It's much like the managers. You're going to list your employees' last name first, the rate of pay, and let's say we have 2 employees that have the same first name, so we'll put their last name, first name with the last initial under the first name, because as we do the program, only first names show up. You'll repeat this step for all your employees. Then down here at the bottom, I like to start at the bottom, work up. You list your contract DJs, your managers. But when you're listing the contract DJs and your managers, you do not put an hourly rate of pay for them. It'll skew your part-time payroll numbers later on in the program if you entered escalated prices here. So just list your managers and part-time or contract DJs without a rate of pay. Alright, at this point we're ready to move on to the tab number 4, the training certificate page. Alright, tab number 4, this is a tool so if somebody else is doing your schedule for you, they know where your employees are trained, what they're qualified to do, and it's very simple to use. The employee list is going to be automatically populated from what you've entered, and then you simply click on the box and select yes or no if they can or cannot work a position, if they've been trained. And then the last column here is for minor, and again, fill it out, you know if they're over 18 or not. And this is set to be a tool, so if you're on vacation, you're off work for whatever reason, you have a manager that does your schedule for you sometimes, so they can look and see what positions people are allowed to work. At this point we're done with this. You'll repeat that step all the way through, and we're ready to begin the schedule. So we're going to go to tab number 5, which is Monday. Alright, so we've selected tab 5, Monday. You're going to start out, you're going to see a screen that looks similar to this. To the right, there's a bunch of information that doesn't affect you. You don't have to worry about any of this over here. We're going to go through the session, so we're going to start right out with session number 1. Monday skating session number 1. So our first box is going to be D18, and we're going to enter the time of the session. And then I'm expecting 300 customers for that session. And if you notice, this number right here changed to 0 right away as soon as I entered 300. That's because we haven't entered in employee times yet. We're going to select a session manager, and again it's just a drop down box from your management list. Then I'm going to select, I'm going to go right here, we're going to enter the employee times coming in and leaving. So we're going to go 10:45 to 2 o'clock, and when you're entering the time in and time out, you have to use military time, which is anything after noon you need to add 12. So we're going to go 2 o'clock, so it'd be 14. If You noticed I 15 minutes in early so the employees can get in here, be ready, start setting stuff up, start cooking pizzas. 30 minutes after the session time so we have time for cleanup. At this point we're going to highlight what I just entered, right click, copy, and then we'll highlight how many employees we think we need, paste, and you can see my cost per customer is 72 cents. Alright, so my session cost is going to be 72 cents per customer. You see my target is 74 cents. That's what I'm aiming for during the week. My total target's $1.23. So I'm 2 cents short. Am I going to add another person? Probably don't need one. So after we fill in the times and determine how many people we have, we can select positions, and you can kind of see if we paste a few more, then I'm at $1.08, and we see I'm over budget. So I want to take those back off. So you would highlight them, right click, clear contents. Never delete anything in this program. Always right click and use clear contents to change stuff in the boxes. Alright, so I've put the times in. Now I'm going to select my positions. I need 2 admission people. Oops. 2 concession. 2 floor guards, a DJ, and a stuff shop employee. So now I know what positions I need to fill, what times they're working, and now I can select my people by simply using the drop down menu and placing the names of the people who can work the positions in. Alright, so that's how you fill out a session. This is repeated every day of the week, every session. This is session 1. We scroll down. We'll come to session 2 that you can see I've already filled out for the part. Alright, so we would repeat the same steps for the next session. Although I didn't fill in my positions. I guess I did it a little backwards here. And so on, and then we're going to go down to our 3rd session. In this session we're expecting 400 people, and I'm going to use 2 session managers. So I'm going to select session manager right here. Go to my employee list. Like I said, I put my managers down at the bottom. I put Edra in for our 2nd manager, but I'm not going to enter a start and a stop time for the session manager because they go on the management schedule, which we'll get to in a minute. I'm also going to use a contract DJ for this session. I'm going to go DJ. Again, I entered my contract DJs down here at the bottom of the list. Put in my contract DJ, and again, just like the session manager, I'm not going to enter a start and stop time because they're on the management schedule. At this point, you repeat all these steps just for every day of the week, just like we did on this page here. So our next tab's Tuesday. Again, I don't have anything booked. If you notice, we skipped 2 sessions here, and then I went to 6 to 9 here. I like my sessions to line up across the schedule, then they print out. And since I basically recycle the same schedule week to week and just change my employees and times as needed. I like all my 6 to 9, 7 to 10s to appear in the 3rd session, and that gives me room to have 2 parties before, gives me room to have 2 parties after if I need to. But you do the same steps for every day of the week. Everything's identical all the way across. And as you use this schedule, this is what saves you time, because generally you have the same or similar session times and setup from week to week, and you don't have to enter all this information in 8 times. It's already there. You just go in and select your different employees, etc. So at this point we are done with the employee schedule, and we'll do the management schedule. Which is tab number 13. But before we get to tab number 13, let's talk about tab number 12. Again, this is another auto-populated tab that is just a tool for you. So we'll click on tab number 12. Alright, so tab number 12 is our employee hours summary. And basically this is automatically populates. You'll see your employee list down the left. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then the hours that you've scheduled them to work. This tab's important for a couple reasons. One, you don't want to overschedule any of your minors. You don't want to give anybody overtime. And you want to be kind of fair when you're doing your schedule. You want to make sure your best people got the most hours, your weak people have the least hours. But again, I always try to be somewhat fair. Also, notice I like to give my people a little cushion, so if they work for somebody else or pick up some sessions, we don't get into overtime situations. So seeing Karen's got 36.25 hours, I would probably go back in and reduce her hours on Monday so that she's got at least an 8-hour cushion for me. Alright, so you've looked over this now, you're satisfied with how you've scheduled your employees, nobody's got overtime. Now we'll move on to the manager schedule. The manager schedule, we're going to start right up here with our managers. Notice salary manager, myself first. Even though we're not paid by the hour, corporate still wants to know when we're in the building how many hours we're working. So you go through and put in your schedule. Again, this is military time, so you notice I've got myself scheduled in at 10 a.m., out at 21:30, which is 9:30 p.m. Go across. Do very similar for all our other managers, day of the week. If you got a manager who has responsibilities other than running sessions, they come in and do lockers, concession, stuff shop, carpets, etc., whatever task you need them to do, this is where you schedule them in for those hours. So schedule them in before their sessions or whatever. And if you go over to the right here, keep going, keep going, keep going, you gotta look at the total hours the manager scheduled, your weekly management total. Go over a little bit farther, it's going to actually show you what you're paying that manager that week. That's got taxes figured in, and then this yellow box right here, you put in your weekly part-time management budget. Put in 900, and it's going to show I spent 867. So I'm under my budget, 3225. This is just a tool for you to keep track of your budget, know where you're going, and make sure you're exceeding your plan. Go back over here. The next section is our maintenance staff. So you schedule your maintenance in when they need to be in. Just like the employees, whatever time in, time out, military time. If you got to change something, highlight it, right click, clear contents. Go ahead and re-enter what you need to do. We get down to sales. Again, your salary sales manager. Enter the times that they're expected to work for the week. Oops. Change it as you go. We got our sales assistant. It's also my birthday manager. She's going to do birthday calls on Mondays. So we're going to bring her in at 2 o'clock till 6 o'clock. Clerical staff, same way. Guest DJs, and we're going to look. We put that guest DJ in on Monday. And I'm going to pay him $125 for that session. So the session started at 7 o'clock, or 6 o'clock. So we're putting him at, if I put him in, his average rate of pay was at 25. So I need to put him out at a time that's going to reflect that. Even though the session's over at 9, we're going to put him in for 5 hours. So schedule him in for 11. That reflects what he's actually getting paid. Fill this in just like everything else. Repeat steps 1 here all the way through the page until you're done. Okay, at this point you're done and we are ready to print our schedule. Alright, to print the schedule we're going to select tab 14. Go up to the Windows icon. Select print. Number of copies, okay. The schedule has to print on legal size paper. It's going to take 2 legal size sheets of paper to print the employee schedule, 1 legal size piece of paper to print the manager's schedule. So now we're ready to print the manager's schedule and do just like we did that one. Click on tab 15, manager schedule. And Windows icon, print, okay. Alright, so now basically we're done with the schedule. We want to make sure we saved it. Again, final version. And after you've done your initial save as, all you have to do is hit the save button. You don't have to save as every time. But there's 2 more tabs down here at the bottom. Both of these are tools for the manager. So the first one is the CPC numbers. So we're going to click on that. We're going to look at it. And you see my estimated customer count for the week, based on what I entered on my sessions, was 3,025. My estimated revenue for the week is $29,826. So then we can look at this chart. So I've got my part-time staff. This is your striped shirt employees working sessions. 308.75 hours. Average rate of pay with taxes included, $8.34. I'm going to spend just about $2,600 on payroll at a cost per customer of 85 cents per customer, or 8.6% of my total revenue. Maintenance, I got 15 hours scheduled, $783. $117.50 is what I'm spending. 4 cents per customer. 0.39% of my revenue. Same for our clerical guest DJs. So my total cost per customer for the week is $1.05. My plan's $1.23, so did pretty good on the schedule. 10.65% of my revenue. My plan is for about 11%. And you see my session manager, 66.25 hours. Average rate of pay, total dollars spent, or 2.61% of my revenue. If you get to this page and you're 20 cents over plan, you need to go back and start editing your schedule. If you're 40 cents under plan, that probably means you didn't schedule enough employees to work. And same thing, go back and edit your schedule, review your sessions. That's all with this tab right here. Alright, so now that we're done with this page, we're satisfied with how our schedule came out. Go to this last tab here, it says EMP Eval. This is an employee grading chart. It automatically... Alright, so we finished the schedule, we printed the schedule, we hung it up for the employees to read. We've saved it. Now there's one last step to doing the schedule, and that is to email the schedule to corporate and to Bruce Astor. I always do this as soon as I finish the schedule. Everything's printed, I've reviewed it, everything's good. And simply send an email to both Angela and Bruce and attach your schedule to it. Thank you. Populates by the names you entered on your employee list. And this is the company standard chart. All you gotta do is select print, and this is so you can evaluate your employees at your managers meetings weekly. I print this up every week prior to our meetings, And since you always changing your employee list, this just saves you time. It's already there. These are people that are actually working, so you know you have the correct people on it. But print it up, use that during your weekly manager meetings to evaluate your employees. And that's the schedule program in the whole.